everybody. I think I have my chat up. Yes, I do. Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody? Happy Friday. Make sure my video's going here so I can watch what's going on. Come on. Hello, hello. There we go. We're all going. I had to go grab some foil just in case. I might use that tonight. I think I saw people popping in. Hi, Miss Luann. How are you? Happy Friday. Happy New Year. I'm a little together tonight. Hi, Shalana. Hi, Miss Penny. How are you guys? Hello, Pam. How are you? The Restream changed the whole layout. So maybe that's why we had some issues last night, because everything was different when I logged on today compared to yesterday. Hi, Karen. I mean, it's crazy. I had to find everything. Hi, Jamie. How are y'all? We're going to get started right away because I am using an old stamp set. I'm going to run down to the desk. I did drop in the description box pretty much a lot of the stuff I'm using tonight, not necessarily everything. Hi, Mama. Hi, Brandon. But the main things in particular, there may be a few other things that, and some of the things you can buy separately, but I didn't link them. Or you can also search Candi Live in one word, and all of those items will come up too. So let's switch to my down desk. Okay, just making sure my volume is all good. All right, so I pulled, I need to, okay, if you get seasick, look away. I'm going to pull my camera up a little bit here. That is way low to my desk. That was a lot lower than I expected to be. Okay, there we go. So I pulled out an older stamp set. This is the Dynamic Duos. It is still available in the store. There is an SVG file that will go with it. There were dies if you purchased it when it has it, but there is an SVG file. So I have everything ready to go and stamped, but this month has something to do similar to this, but not quite the same. Hi, Tamara. Thank you, Penny, for the link. I think I said Mom. I said hi. It came back up another time. So. But I already stamped and die cut those out. And I also grabbed one of the companion sets, which is this You Lift Me Up. This is also available in the store. This still has the die available. There's a few left. And I have one of them already cut out, stamped and cut out. So we'll see what we can use tonight. So I got inspired by this month's release. I know the subscription products are up. I'm going to just assume, I don't know this for sure yet, but I'm assuming we'll see more products on Tuesday with Christopher. But I am going to go ahead and use this kind of on that. I can't wait either, Pam. I mean, actually, I might have taken a peek. I might have taken a peek today. I make a list for myself every month of the releases so I can keep track because, that's what I do. I mean, I'm as the inspiration team leader. So I kind of went through and listed everything today. So I might have peeked at everything. So it's good. Somebody else peeked too. Yeah, I had to peek and just look. Some good stuff. So I'm going to use this pattern map and sparkle strip set. There is only a handful. There's only one or two of these left in the store, but the pattern map and sparkle, or the pattern map bundle, I think was still available. This one came with the card bases. I'm not going to use the card bases tonight right now. I'm going to put those off to the side, and we're not going to use this whole thing. And I know Christopher did a live. You've seen the add-ons, just not the box. Oh, no. Those are the other subscriptions, Pam. The add-ons haven't been released yet. Oh, did I just let something out of the bag? Trust me. Add-ons are nothing that are separate from subscriptions. Just wait. At least I didn't see them. I looked earlier today. So that, if they were there, I was going to order. But in this kit, you got some pattern maps, which are like our washi maps, but they're colored already for you, so you don't have to put any on. And I'm going to pull out the Valentine's Day ones. These are available separately. Each one has a different pack, and I will show you. I'm going to put these off to the side here. So you would get these, like, here's the love letters. That's this one. And this one is called, I put it down below, but I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head. And this one, yep. So love letters and hugs and kisses. And you'll get 2 of each sheet pre-printed, and they are A2 size. These aren't not foilable because there's not black on them, okay? But we can add foil to them. But in this pattern pack, you got 1 of each. That's why I'm going to pull this out. And then we've got these sparkle overlay strips. These are basically our overlays in just strip form. So in the bundle, if you had gotten the bundle, you would get these overlay strips. These strips are also available by themselves. Is that how yes, I do 2 things. Pam, I'm going to just tell you what I do is I take mine, whether they're washi sheets or dual foils or pattern maps, I snip off the top. This is how I do my pattern paper too. And then if I have more than 1, I just take them and I store them and I combine them. So like if I buy 2, because I know I'm really going to want to use them, I combine them into 1 packaging. That way I only have 1. However, I do kind of use the binder method that Christopher showed using like page protectors, but that got a little full. So I'll do a video on that. A separate video on that on my channel. Yes, the rest of the collection is not correct. I was assuming it was going to go live on Monday morning, but barring that, nothing happens. So that's how I store those. And I do the same thing with my washi sheets and my overlay sheets. This is how I will store these. I will just snip off the top so that I can just put it. I store my foil the same way, the foil that comes in the not in the rolls. Okay, so I want these 2. I don't want this one. This is a snowflake. I don't think I'm going to use those. But to me, it makes sense to store them in their packaging versus, I mean, you can store them in these types of things too. So you can buy these. I would suggest buying better quality ones than I have. But you can see I have several of this one in here. And then I think these are all loose because I was going to take them somewhere to use. So you can do this and then stick them in a binder, if that makes sense, Pam. And then you can see that. Christopher did this, and that made sense to me. I only have my washi sheets like that. I don't have my dual foils like that. I keep my dual foils in the packaging like I showed you. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make some kind of Galentine cards. So now remember, if you don't have someone to send a Valentine's Day card to, or you're not a Valentine's Day person, you could just make these a thinking of you card or a thank you card, because, you know, I hope that, I'm sorry, Pam, I may not be smart. I might be behind the times because, you know, I'm going to be the big 5-0 this year. I hope that means thanks for sharing. Hi, Heather. So please tell me if I figured that out right. So this is a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and it cuts down to A2 cards. So when I cut one, sometimes I'll cut them both. Sometimes I'll just cut one. So I'm going to go ahead and cut. What I like about these is that these are basically like pattern papers. Thank you, Pam. That's what I thought it meant. Okay. My, kids are older and they don't text really much anymore. They call once in a while, but they don't. So I don't know if I'm all up on the lingo. So if I cut it in half at 5.5, and then I turn it around and cut it at 4 1/4. Now, every once in a while, I personally get mine off a little bit. And I might not get it perfect. Like if I look at this and I'm like, ooh, there's a little bit extra white here than here. If I see that to my eye, I just go and trim it a teeny, tiny bit. Just a tiny bit. Just a little bit. Just like that. If I want. So what's nice about these, I'm going to cut these both down while we're here and have the cutter out, is that you can just use these right pattern paper and really add, if you need a fast card, I'm going to show you one fast way. We're going to do a fast one and we'll do a non-fast one. Oops, I'm sorry. Instead of measuring up, I'm trying to measure them at 4 1/4 instead of just lining them up, because there is some that have white on both sides. I mean, I like a washi map I do like the washi maps, which are the gray ones, but I don't always line up a straight line. So that's why I like these too. And I saw these. So here you can see I have just a hair, just a smidge. Exactly. Hi, Isis. How are you? I will message you back after this. I can answer one question. No, I can't answer any questions. I will message you later. She asked me a question. I was walking my dog. So, okay. So these are ready to go. You can go ahead and slap these right on a card base. Oops, that's not a card base. Let me grab a card base. We could slap this on there like this. I could slap my cookies on here like this and slap my sentiment on here, and I have a card. That's how fast those can be. I mean, look at how easy and quick that it could be. So I cut out a bunch of my images ahead of time. Now I'm not gonna lie. I actually found some that I had done from when I originally made plans for when I first got the stamp set. These were all done a long time ago, and these were an aqua pigment paper with aqua pigments. So they're done and they're doubled up, tripled up. I found them in the packaging, so that was like, woohoo! But I quick colored a few up tonight as well, so that we had plenty to work with. And then this one also, this is that other You Lift Me Up stamp set that I doubled up. This was done. So I have all of these images to work with. Oops, my camera fell again. Okay, let's see what's going on here. I'm going to lift you back up. Ooh, there's the mess of my desk. Let's see if that works a little better. I don't like the shine of my cameras though. So let's see if I can, I was moving things around and cleaning things up, and I just really, let's see if I can move that up a little bit. We'll twist that way a little bit. Sorry, that light's going to probably shine in your eyes up there. We'll put something up there. Here, I'll put a piece of paper up there. We'll just put a piece of paper up there. There we go. I did not set that up properly. I didn't even pay attention. All righty, let's go. So now what we can do to zhuzh these up a little bit. I don't think I ever used that word before I started. Yeah, Heather, they are super cute. I love storing extra packages. I know. Isis just happened to turn it over and was like, oh my gosh, look at what's inside. Woohoo. I tend to do that, especially now that I'm using more SVG files. I tend to get them all out, stamp them all out, and just do a whole pile of them. And then I store them in the packaging inside my stamp set. Like, see, I got a bunch in here. And then I can just go ahead and pull them out. And, if I'm going to do it, might as well make some more. So, all right. So here's this. This is the first way you can zhuzh these up. This is the sparkle overlay pack. So it's just this doesn't say confetti. This just says sparkle. So it's BRU 7432. And these is one way if you do not, hi Cordelia, do not have, I'm going to go ahead and peel this whole thing off. You do not have to do this, but I'm going to, because I'm just going to make it. If you do not have a foiling machine, or you do not want to foil, this is a great way that you can add a little sparkle. Now these are a little smaller than our strips. So I'm just going to line it up there, and I'm going to very carefully pull it over. And then I'm going to take my scissors. Oops. Tried to pull it over instead of out. And look at that. See? And then you can decide the original. Okay, thank you. Yep, that's what I thought. It just said spark. I was looking at the big sheets and I didn't have that one. And then you can do all of them. You can do every other one. I'm going to go ahead and do every other one to start. Okay. This one is a white border, so it's a little bit harder. So you should be able to get two of them per every strip. And you get 5. If you buy these, you get 5 of the strips in this little package, all pre-cut, perfectly sized for you. So that means you only need 2.5 for each of these if you wanted to do sparkle on every single one. I mean, you could cut them down too, just by laying them out. But I'm just going to use them. They are really pretty. These are, and I will show you, I have the bigger ones out because we're going to do that too. But you don't have to emboss if you're not into embossing powders. You know, they do stick, so you have to be very careful. See, it started to tear there, so we're gonna have to fix that because I did not get it straight. So you really kind of have to make sure you're doing it good the first time. Oops. We'll just put a little something on there. We'll make it work. Just trying to be straight as I can. I'm just going to eyeball it. It doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. I kind of forgot. I almost forgot it was Friday. Like, I knew it was Friday because I had everything ready to go. I knew what I was going to do for my live, getting things ready. But I had one of the guys in one of the offices at work said, "See you later." And I said, "See you tomorrow." And he's like, "You mean Monday, right?" I'm like, "Oh yeah." Kind of forgot it was Friday. And then at the end of the day, one of my coworkers that I work with, he's like, "See you later." And I said, "See you Monday." And he's like, "Oh yeah." So this little bit, I'm just going to fold over because I'm not going to cut that little piece off. And then, I mean, see the sparkle? You can, I mean, that's fun. And somebody might ask, and now to fix this little bit, I'm just going to take a little bit of glue. Just put it in here. And I'm just going to put that down on there. And then we can put a little sentiment, or we can kind of cover with our, like, we can put our little carrots down right there or something, you know, or our little coffee mugs and stuff, and you wouldn't even notice, or some other embellishment. But it's not that noticeable. All right, we need one more. This one I'm going to cut down, though. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to line it up, and I'm going to cut it off just a little bit long. Just a little bit long, because this will still fit another one. I'm going to stick this right back inside. Okay. And then I will pull this off. And I'm going to line this up as straight. So now I'm not sure if there's any good way to do it. Like if I do it this way, I can kind of see the edge a little bit easier since they're clear. And go straight down and then over. Okay, I have to Hi, Tia. How are you? I had to pull this up a little bit so I can make sure I can see everything. Okay. So there we go. We've got our first one. Now, I personally like to cut these down. They can be a full, like I said, a full card panel on your card base. This is some Perfect Blend. These are the card bases that come. It can totally be, but I like to cut it down a little bit. So we're going to trim it down. And I'm just going to trim it down. I'm going to take a little bit off each. And so what I do is I go about halfway between the 4 1/4 and the 4, making sure my trimmer is flat. Go about halfway and trim it down. Make sure that was straight. And then I'm going to flip it around the other side. And then I'll move it over to the 4-inch side. And trim it down. And then I kind of still have a little bit of that white area showing. Cordelia, I ordered them with this kit, and I actually ordered some extras just because I always order a couple extras every once in a while. And then I do the same to the side, top and bottom, which is going to cut that white strip off. Because a lot of times I use them for my lives and samples, and then I want to make cards with them. So I'll order them a second set so that I have them. And then even though that cut that white border off the top and bottom, I will have a white border when I put it on my card base. If you want that. Your other option is you could layer this with some colored cardstock. So I am going to grab a piece. I think this is lipstick. This isn't, I'm just going to show you the difference. So you could pop it on there instead. See, and so then you could have that. But I think I'm going to put it on the white because I'm going to do other colors. So let's put that away. Okay, let's put the card base in. So let's figure out how we want to do this. I'm thinking we're going to lay these out. I don't have sentiments stamped really yet, other than this one, which I already had. And I'm thinking I'm going to put the milk and cookies on this one. So I'll have to stamp a sentiment. So we may just leave this one just like this with a sentiment. So I'm going to go ahead and put this off to the side so we can put all our cards together at the end, if that's okay. And let's move on to decorating our next one. So our next one, we're going to take this one. Now this one is just the plain colors. Now you could, I didn't plan to do this, but you could take, I don't know if I have one handy. Where's my stencil book? I lost it. I'm going to grab a stencil quick. I'm not sure where my stencil books went to. I have my stencils in the book, but I'm just going to grab any stencil here. I don't even know what it looks like. For example, this is not quite the right stencil. This is an old stencil from a coast plant. But you could take this and you could set this down and you could ink blend over the top of it. I guess why don't we do that, right? This one's called Happiness. I don't believe it's still in stock, but this was an older stencil. But if you have any heart stencil, will really work. All I'm going to do is take a piece of Post-it note here and cover up the back side down here. And this is a regular Post-it note. So I'm going to take this Post-it note. And I have a finger dauber right somewhere. Right here. And I'm going to grab my white pigment ink. And I like to use a finger dauber when it's small. I'm just going to do the hearts. Well, I guess we could do the hearts and the stars. You get the idea. You could also do anti-static powder tool, and then when you pull this up, you could cover it with embossing ink. I mean, and look, if you have this fun little heart. Now you'd want to make sure those were dry before you covered them up. I'm going to go ahead and just go up here and do a couple more. So all of my dark pink, and I'm not going to worry about too much about covering up. And then you could do the same thing with a darker color and do that. Now I'm just going to be careful to not smudge these up here because those are wet, because I don't need to do all of those. I'm just going to kind of set this on at an angle so that my images on my stencil, oops, are completely covering. So you could add embossing powder to these. And I hope I didn't smush those. But look, I mean, just that little bit. And then, of course, you could add in other things. If you were great with pencils, like since I can see things ahead of time and stuff, I saw something Shalana did today and she drew some like lines and squiggles around the edges. I can't do that very well. So you could do that with some of these and do some dots and lines and squiggles. That would be something you could do. And like I said, you could cover that with embossing powder and then it would be heat set. So I'm going to go ahead and set this one aside to dry for right now because we don't want to smush that. I don't want to get the heat tool up. Let's grab the next one that's like, let's see. These are both, like I said, I did I bought two different kinds here. So here's the other one for, this is the second pack here. Remember I had both those hugs and kisses and love letters. And what you could do is you could get the main sparkle overlay pages. I actually have glitter stock pulled out here too. And you can cover the entire thing. You could also, I would say my other favorite thing would be to do is cover this completely with, stamp your sentiment maybe on here at an angle. Cover this whole thing with embossing ink and cover it with Fairy Dust embossing powder. So we've got the shattered and I've got the original, the sparkle overlay. I'm going to use that sparkle overlay again because I have more of that right now. And just going to go ahead and cut this in half at 4 1/4. And then we're going to cover this one. Now I will say there's a little bit, it's shiny. I mean, see, can you hear it? How much you can hear? You can hear that squeaky. So you do want to use like a double-sided adhesive, or my opinion, double-sided adhesive, a foam dimensional, a glue dot, or something like that. You could also do this, like I said, with these other ones that have the pattern on them, and they will make them sparkly too, but I'm going to do just the plain one to start. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to peel it back a little bit and do my best to line it up. Now you could do the full sheet if you wanted and cut it off. And then I just peel it back and I can cut off any extra, but then the whole thing is covered. And I mean, you could die cut this out. You could die cut a heart out of this. Wouldn't that be fun? And you could get a 2-for-1 card. We could do that. I just have to run over my die cut machine. Let's do that. Are you guys okay with that? I'll be right back. Okay. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll cut this heart out of this. All right. See, that didn't take too long. Huh? Yes, on a full sheet of cardstock too. So now look, I have this beautiful sparkly heart. Thank you, Penny. I knew since she was here, she could help with the groove music. We've got 2 cards right here. So let's grab some pattern paper and throw that down on something. I'm going to grab a piece of whatever pattern paper I can find. Cardstock. And this is some old pink lemonade. I have most of the cardstocks coming to me if I don't have them now, but I haven't got them all ready to go. Oh, you're getting hungry looking at them? Yeah, looking at the hamburger piece, the hamburger one always makes me hungry because hamburgers are my favorite. They are like a sticker, I guess I would say. I mean, I have heard them, and I've heard something similar. Like they're very sticky. They're sticky. Like you can't, Pam, you can't peel it back. So, and if you see that, like this is release paper. Like you could save this to stick your foam tape to if you have extra pieces. So it's a nice option if you're not one of those people that want to foil, or at the time, if you don't have time to foil. I love foiling. Don't get me wrong. I love foiling. But I mean, look at how fun that is. And I mean, we could even add this one on top of this one and add a little bit of fun color. Look at, but we're going to make that its own card. So we've got a 2-for-1 card here. It's kind of like it's plasticky on top. So that's why I said you want to make sure. So now you could decorate this one. I'm thinking, to be honest, which would be really fun. I don't have that done tonight, would be to run this through an embossing folder with just like Swiss dots, the basic, or just some fun bell pattern, like a very bland pattern. I wouldn't do like a floral pattern necessarily. Yes, it's adhesive. You do not need glue. Nope, it's adhesive. Sorry, I didn't explain that. So this is the release paper. Okay. So it just comes just like this. All right, so let's get this down. My tape runner, I was making some cards last night and my tape runner ran out. So I was super excited. I'd have fresh, look at how that rolls for you guys tonight. Nice fresh roll of tape. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab. There you go, Pam. I said you'll like it. There's sparkle, there's a snowflake, there's confetti, there's halo. I have all of them here because they came in the strips. I'm sure I have a pack of all of them over on the side, but I would have to dig them out. But I think it's a fun, like, little addition. Now I have a tiny little spot right here where I didn't get it all the way over. I can try and just fold it over since it's clear, or I can cut that off. But then, let's see, we did that. Let's do our We put our little, actually, I'm thinking the eggs and bacon work perfectly in there. And then the sentiment is there. We're irreseparable. So there we go. We got a second card ready to go other than our sentiment. This card is still drying. And I'm thinking we'll just do our peas and carrots on this one. And maybe we'll add some hearts or something to that. Okay, so let's move on. This one I think I would like to hold on to and maybe run it through an embossing folder. If we have time at the end, I'll go do that, but I don't want to waste all of our time off camera like that. So I want to show you 2 other ways to use these. Yeah, they're cute. So here's another one. This one, and there's, these, like each one of these has the hugs and kisses and the love hearts. Keep thinking, can't remember if it's the love notes or how love hearts. Hugs and kisses and love letters. They have the same design, just different patterns. Another way that I can show you, now this is not my perfect way. I am not perfect at this, but I'm going to grab, this is another good way. Milk and cookies, yes. I'm going to grab, this is just some double-sided adhesive. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to actually try to do this very gently. Putting our cards together is the easy part, right? And go ahead and line this up. Excuse my head if it gets in the way. I'm going to go ahead and line it up in the first one first. We're going to take this strip. I'm going to cut it off. Hopefully I cut it off at least long enough. And I'm going to go ahead and we're going to strip it down. I was playing on the floor before my live with dog, and I have dog hair all over my shirt. So I've got one. And then I'm going to see, because I tried to snip that as straight as I can. Go ahead. This is going to be similar to our overlay, but we're going to do it a little bit different. Foil overlays, thank you. I don't remember if I added them to my collection tonight, the individual ones, because I knew I was using the bundle. All right. And then I need a small one. I'm trying to cut my tape as straight as I can. Now, there's 2 things you could do, actually. I'm just going to do one of them. You could use vellum over this. And I did this with a Christmas card. I don't think I have it handy, but I took vellum and sprayed it with my ornament gold. You guys know my ornament gold, my favorite. And then I cut it in strips, and I used double-sided adhesive to go over the top. You could just use regular vellum. You wouldn't have to do, or you could paint it with pearl if you wanted. And just to give it some sparkle, but it would show the pattern. Hopefully I did that straight without. Okay, so now I'm going to very carefully try to cut these off, not have them stick too much to my scissors. I'm not kidding you. As soon as I saw these in the store, I was so excited. Like I said, I love the washi maps. The idea of having the patterns on them, I want them to be in every pattern under the moon. I could think of some of our old pattern papers that would be so beautiful as these. And they're already done for me. I don't have to, I can just cut them out. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm only going to do one at a time. So I'm going to go ahead and take the release paper off, and I'm going to grab some foil. I'm going to grab, this is, let's do the Magical Halo. So this is toner foil, guys. And like I said, this is how I store my foils. I just cut the cap off, and I take them out of the package. And then, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to lay it down. Hopefully I'm doing this the right way because it's the way it fell. And there is also a grain. So sometimes if it doesn't come off, It might be because you did the green the wrong way. Let's see. Okay, it's rolling pretty good that way on my hands. Yep, so we're going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it this way. I'm not perfect at this, but I'm going to do it this way. And burnish it well. I'm still new at kind of using this. I don't use a ton of this. And then make sure I've done it right, because sometimes it doesn't want to come off the right way. And I think it's because I might have gone against the grain, if that's why it doesn't come off as easy as some of the others. So sometimes you have to help it along. And I wanted to do this because I wanted you to see that if you're struggling, because sometimes I struggle at this too. Now I might, it's not liking me tonight. Like I said, I wanted people to see that it does happen. I know you can just take it in. I'm going to go for it, but I think it's going to rip. Okay. Just be pre-warned. Yep. It ripped. Okay. So we're going to try it again. That's my fault. Let's put that down again, because I think I did it against, we're going to go with this. We went this way. We're going to go this way. I think it was the way I did the grain. Okay. I did want to show that on purpose because, like I said, I sometimes really, really struggle with it because I'm not paying attention. I'm hurrying. And I think you can hurry, but I'm still really new at using the foils this way. So let me go put it. Oh, I didn't get it all the way to the end, but that's okay. We can cut that part off. I'll do a small piece first. Let's see if I can do it right this time. Because I think it could be the way the grain is. And the way you burnish it down. Folder. Now I feel bad, but I wanted you to know we all make mistakes, even those of us who are on design teams and things like that. I'm keeping it real. Exactly. Yeah, see, it's not liking me tonight. It works. I promise it works. It's just not liking me. I will tell you it's very dry in my house. It's not coming off tonight. All right, guys, I may have to give up on you tonight for this. And practice a little more. I should have probably practiced a little more. I'm struggling, guys. We're on the struggle bus. Okay, so I don't want to keep ruining this and we're wasting your guys' time. So we're going to do it a little bit. It does work, I promise. I'm going to have to watch a Christopher video and watch him do it again and see if there's what a trick I did do. Maybe I did the wrong side. Let's test it. Yeah, I have too. And that's why I said maybe I did the wrong side. Even though I pulled it out of the paper and had it the right way, I thought. But let's test it. Yep. Even though I took it out of the paper the right way. Isn't that crazy? So it did, even though I did. Now it's got that sparkle. I wondered too, but I left it, you know, like when I pulled it out of the paper. Let's try the big one. So it does happen. Don't fret. You can fix that. You can just add something there. All right, let's try it again. So I think from now, what I would do, I know I've done the pokey tool thing too, but it doesn't always work for me with this little edges here. Let's try it. The pokey tool worked better. Thanks, Heather. Okay. Isn't that crazy though? And that's the one thing with the overlays. They're hard to see because you don't see that. Ta-da! Exactly. We're trying it again. Let's do the next page. Let's do the next one. I'm going to just Trying to see where I already used it. And it looks like it's still stuck there. They must not have gotten the whole thing on that one. So we're going to pokey tool it. We're going to pokey tool it. Come on, pokey tool. So it does work. You just have to be smarter than the paper. Did I do the wrong side again? Maybe this is not something I'm supposed to be doing live, huh? Yeah, guys, it's being, I did the wrong side again. So, yep, we're going to change it. We're going to do that. Ready, Heather? We're going to do it just like what you said. Because it's still not sticking. So that's what we're going to do to fix it. We're going to take some glitter, but we'll keep these. And then we'll fix this. Where did I put my glitter stock? Because I don't want you to sit here and watch me do this all night. I grabbed the whole glitter stock pack. We're going to fix it with glitter stock. And I think we're going to grab, I'm going to perfect it, I promise. But I'm going to perfect it. Yep, and do the hokey pokey. I'm going to perfect it with something that's I like better. I don't like as much as this, like regular cardstock. And I'm just going to go ahead and trim these down. So my paper, this was about a little bigger than 1/4 of an inch. So we're going to move it over to about right. I don't know if it's 3/4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if I needed 4, or 5, but yep. Well, that's what Penny, I am actually going to do embossing powder as well, because I love doing it with embossing powder. We'll do embossing powder for 2 of them, and we're going to do the strips for the rest. So go ahead and we're going to add the glitter stock. So you never fear, you can fix it. And then I need to add some more tape. It's always fixable with something. And I'm just going to bend this one underneath. And put that one here. And this would be, it's a good opportunity to also use different color glitter stocks. So your strips, I mean, I don't think I cut these exactly the same width. So I do need one a little bit bigger. So I'm going to cut one down a little bit bigger. Design opportunities, exactly. And like I said, you can see that we all do that kind of thing. That looks like it's thick enough. This is the bubble gum, I believe, glitter stock. There's my puppy outside barking. I think some animal must be climbing around in the yard because he's been wanting to go out. He goes out and he barks. There's no one out there. And then he comes in and then he barks and then he comes in and then he wants to go back out. But that's Fletch for us. All right. Go ahead and put this one down. Maybe it is how the term distress came out. It probably is, Heather. You're right about that. It's probably the term distress is probably, but I mean, look at the fun design opportunity we had here. Now, if you have a little bit of extra tape, you could just use some anti-static powder tool over that. Now, what we're going to show with this, let me grab some embossing powder. I am going to use the Popular. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do, Penny, is I'm going to start marking it, and that way I know which way it is. I'm going to test it a bunch. That's why I like the overlay strips versus the overlay, doing it with the foil. So we're just going to add the Popular because we're going all pink on pink here. Looking at my time, I got 15 minutes. before. I mean, not like I've never gone over before, right? So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to test the spot and then I will mark that side exactly like you said. And then I will know which side needs to go. And I'm going to probably put a U for that means up. All right. I did not plug this in. And we're going to get our card started here. Because this was the other way I was going to show you is you could grab embossing powder or glitter. No time, please, here. Awesome. And look at the different, look at that. Isn't that fun? You can still see the pattern underneath. I used a translucent powder. You wouldn't have to. You could use one that's, you know, that would cover up like a red or something. And then you've got a second card base there. That's what I was going to show you could do with embossing powder and these strips. But my foil decided to foil us wrong. All right, let's get these cards started. I'm thinking we got to have a hamburger and fry one. But I'm thinking we're going to swap it. I'm going to do it like this. And then I'm going to do a design opportunity to fix my little spot here. All right. And I still have lots left. So we've got this one. We've got this one. I got lots of little. I'm going to move this stencil out of the way because it's got ickies on it. I just stuck double-sided tape down to my desk. And then I went through my stash, actually, you guys, and I found some heart dies. These are some that came out. We had the True Love Sweethearts cutting die that has a bunch of hearts in it. You could use. This was a freebie last year with all the hearts. Scattered Hearts, I think is what it's called. I did not cut mine apart because I figured if I'm going to cut hearts. And then we had our Scribble Hearts. So I'm going to cut a few of these hearts out quick with my little die cut machine. I broke my Tim Holtz one, you guys. Can you believe it? I was crofting along and it went crunch. And I was like, what was that? And it just so happened that the little plastic pieces inside, it broke off and it died. So it was very sad. So I fortunately still have my little one for my friend, from Heffy Doodle from my friend Leslie. Unfortunately, it's no longer available. Her company. She decided she was going to move on to other things. So her company isn't available, so you can't get it. That's why I wasn't liking to use it. But I love this little cutter too. So I wanted to cut out a bunch of hearts from different. I'm just going to use the pink here that we already cut. I love this heart because you can actually use an inlay if you wanted to and inlay it inside, but we're just going to use this piece. And we're going to pop out all the other pieces here. Probably should grab my pokey tool for that. Does anyone have any fun plans for the weekends? I am going to hopefully take the dog for a long walk. We walked on New Year's Day, but it was so cold that we didn't go for a long one. It was colder than I thought it was. I mean, it wasn't so cold, but it was colder than I thought it was going to be. And I walked him, and I turned around, and I was walking kind of slow because he's this fast little groundhog-y type running dog. No, he's not a groundhog dog, but he runs like one. It's like the wind. And I looked up, and he was across the creek. He went boom, boom. It was across the creek and down through the field before I could even go boo. So I'm just going to try something here. I'm going going to shrink my screen down a little bit. I don't think that mattered to anybody. Okay. Craft busy holiday season. That sounds like fun. I actually have plans to do some crafting tomorrow with some friends, I hope. So I've got some hearts for our different cards. We need to stamp our sentiments out quick. So let's get that done. I have one that says I only have fries for you. So that will work with this one, which is perfect because it fills up that little spot. We need the rest of them. I don't know if my little stamp set that I already had stamped out for this other one is got a sentiment for it as well. Let's see if I have one. Ooh, I have one for the eggs. This is irreceptible. No, I do not have any other ones stamped out, so I'll have to stamp that one out too. All right. I got one for eggs and bacon. We need a piece of perfect lens because you guys know me. That's my favorite thing to stamp on. We need the I had the time of my life. I'm going to do You Lift Me Up. And we need We Go Together Like. And I'm going to do As Happy as Peas and Carrots. I think that's enough, right? Oh, yeah, I have a crop at my place. Send it. Oh! Well, Pam, I hope you get your stuff all cleaned up. I'd come over and craft with you. That sounds like fun. I need to. So I have a couple of local friends who craft, and they live in the same neighborhood. They're basically neighbors. And they were crafting on, I think, was it Christmas Eve or Christmas Day? And I don't know if some of you saw in the fan club group that she posted, and I was like, wait. You're crafting without me? I was so sad at them. Totally joking, because I don't think the weather was good enough, to be honest with you, for me to be able to go out. But she's like, we watched your advent calendar. Does that count? And I'm like, yeah, I guess that counts. So I am going to use the dies to cut these out because I have them. Oh my gosh, I don't know what is going on with my dog. But he is non-stop barking. He is being a naughty boy. Because I can hear him down there. So I do need to get together with them. But, all right. So I'm going to use the dies. I'm sorry if my head gets in the way, guys. I'm going to finish these up lickety-split. I wasn't 100% sure if we were going to stamp directly on the cardstock, so that's why I didn't cut these out ahead of time. I hope that's okay with you guys. I think... Where am I located? I'm located in Northeast Iowa, right on the banks of the Mississippi. So we're too far apart, I'm pretty sure. I think on the East Coast, maybe, Pam. I'm not too far from actually. Lisa Newman is on our design team. We're not too far apart. And then I'm not too far from... I'm a little bit further, but not too far away from Sean and Sandy as well. Like we could get together for a craft weekend if we needed to. But most of my crafty friends are pretty far away from like into Chicago or northern Minnesota or other parts of the country. But at least we can craft online together. Hi, Sean. How are you? You are totally welcome to pop in. I was going to say last night, I know you were having some technical difficulties. I'm pretty sure it was restreamed because wait till you log in. You should log in tonight and just look at it. It's completely different. I thought so, Pam. I thought you were in Jersey. It's Sean. I mean, when I logged in this today, everything was set up completely different in the main screen. So I was assuming there's some sort of update that happened yesterday. So it's a little kind of, it took me a couple minutes. So, okay. So let's get our cards getting put together here. I'm going to just kind of push stuff off to the side and pull our other ones in so we can get them all put together. I think I have stamps for all of them. Ooh, this one didn't cut out properly. It moved. As happy as peas and carrots. Inseparable. And I'm thinking I want to use the milk and cookies, but it didn't, my stamp didn't work. I think. So we got you lift me up. Actually, we're gonna have to switch these two around, I think. Because I think these guys got to go right in the center of those. And we'll move these guys around too. Okay. Okay, there we go. Oh, that's crazy. I'm sorry, Sean. I was trying so hard. Okay, so here's our basic cards. So we better get them put together. Some of them, like I said, I have them stacked a couple times. Especially when I watercolor, I like to use, and you can actually see I had one where I didn't like the color. I didn't like it, or something happened when I did it. So I just used it as my background for another one. I think I like blooped or something. So instead of throwing it away, I just die cut it out and I used it as my background to stack one of my others. So we're inseparable. Oh, that was supposed to go with the eggs. Yep, that goes with the eggs. Okay, let's move that one back. As happy as peas and carrots. Which you could also do, we have peas and where we go together like peas and carrots. And then we've got our little hearts. Thank you. I think this set is still so cute. Like I said, it is still available in the store. So if you are interested in it, there were a handful. I mean, there were a few left. I don't think there was like 2 left, but there was a handful left. And there's same thing with the You Lift Me Up stamp set. And it makes some fun cards for your kids too. I'm going to go ahead and just put those all in like this. I'm not going to put these on card base tonight. Oh yeah, I love that nobody puts baby in the corner, right, Shalana? Every once in a while when that movie comes on, I remember one time I was watching it and I decided that's what was going to be my, I posted that. I'm going to move this over just a hair because I'm going to put this, and I put nobody puts baby in the corner. Oh, good. Dinner arrived. You can eat instead of just drool at my food. And my mom's like, what? And I was like, you don't understand, Mom. It's okay. I mean, look at how fun that is. You lift me up. You could totally add some gems and stuff, but I think that's fun. We've got our inseparable. This one I did not stack. We're just going to put this one down on flat. So I saw something online the other day. Oh, I forgot to poke that out. And I just wanted to give you guys a heads up to look into this to make sure. I saw something that said that there were some new rules for postage, by the way. Now, I did not verify this, but it said something about the possibility of postage. It's not like postage going up. It says that when they process our cards or our bills or whatever we mail, it's going to be when it gets stamped instead of the day you put it in the box. So if you have birthday cards you want to get out, you might want to make sure you get them out an extra day early, just in case. I think we're going to go ahead and put this guy right over here so you can still see those purples behind it, but I don't want it to be too heavy. And then we're going to put our little eggs right there. Inseparable part right there. It is a very good classic movie. I haven't watched that in a while. And then we have I Only Have Fries for You, which actually I think is kind of funny because I would share fries with my kids and I would share fries with my honey, but I won't share fries with anybody else because I love my fries and I love my burgers. I haven't had a burger in a while. Since my mom was here, I guess. But it's been a couple weeks. And then we got this one here. And then this is another one where I kind of have that little bit of a tear. So what we're going to do is we're just going to randomly put a few hearts around and cover up our little bloops. And that's glitter stock. So that's going to take a second to dry. I might actually put my magnet on top of that to get it to dry. I'm going to actually do 3 on this one because I have, yeah, see on glitter stock, it takes a little bit longer to dry. You kind of have to force it. And of course that magnet's stuck there. Oh, I want a little one. And then we've got 3, that's 4. We're going to put 1 more. My glue looks like it's getting low. I'm going to have to fill my glue up. And I'm going to put this one right here. All right. And then I can also I'll finish off that other card, but I do want to run it through the embossing folder. So I will finish this one off and I'll recut and I will do that one. And I'll take a picture of that and get it in the fan club group. So there we go, you guys. Other than putting them on card bases, there we go. Use some of those pattern maps, overlay strips, overlay pieces, some embossing powder, some stamping and stenciling. So just different ways you can use your pattern maps, or just plain as is. You know, put a little thing on it and you got a sentiment and you're ready to go. I mean, that works too, just like this. So I appreciate y'all staying with me tonight. I didn't go over too bad. It's only a couple minutes past. Have a great evening and a great weekend. And I will see you guys all next week. Okay, good night all.